With us now is Dr. Michael Youssef. He's founder and pastor of the Church of the Apostles in Atlanta, and he's the head of Leading the Way Ministries. Thanks for coming on the show. You have a new book out. It's called The Hidden Enemy: Aggressive Secularism, Radical Islam, and the Fight for Our Future. Right. Welcome to the show, and I want to get to this book here in a second. You grew up in a Coptic Christian household. You know that Egypt's president, abdel-fattah al-Sisi, was recently re-elected as the president of Egypt. Egyptian Christians, I know, played a role. Yep. They went to the polls. Yep. My sense is that they voted for him.
Absolutely.
Why did they vote for him?
Well, the man has done some things that no leader in Egypt has ever done in all 1,400 years of Islamic rule in Egypt.
Which is what?
Warmed up to Christians, appeared in the middle of the Christmas celebration at the Coptic Cathedral, and in every way he reached out to the Christian community, and he literally is trying to break down all these barriers that were created through the years. And they're not just the Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood brought it to the forefront.
You were among a number of other evangelical leaders who had a chance to meet with the president of Egypt last year. What did you take away as an Egyptian born there? What did you take away from that meeting?
Well, I took away is the fact that this man absolutely never sleeps. He is day and night thinking, working, pushing, shoving to improve the lot of the poor people of Egypt. He really loves his country. He's a patriot in every sense of the word. And therefore he is ready to do whatever it takes to help the economy of his country, which was left in shambles from previous administrations. And so I really believe that he's God's man. God raised him up. Wow. And people would say that, if it wasn't for Sisi, you would have had 15 million Christian refugees from Egypt. And they look at the neighboring countries and they would say, thank God for Sisi. And the Christians particularly are very grateful that he is very warm toward them. He makes no distinctions in his treating of people, Muslim, Christian, Jews even. He met with so many Jewish leaders from the United States, from elsewhere. And he does not have a prejudiced bone in his body. That is very unique in the Middle East.
Is it your sense that Christians here in the United States understand the plight of Christians in the Middle East? Do we really understand
Some do, but very few, very, very few. And I thank God for people like Franklin Graham and others who are doing some great things, and you are, and I see them on the ground when I go to Jordan and other countries. But very few Americans realize this. But the problem is persecution is coming to America now. And you find me an evangelical in a corporate structure who takes a stand on biblical views, he'll lose his job. In America, in England, in Australia, a key executive with IBM lost his job because he took a stand on marriage. So it's happening here in a different way, different form. And so it's almost becoming a global thing, and the world is always coming to a point where we are seeing almost the end times.
You speak to that, Dr. Youssef, in your new book, The Hidden Enemy. You talk about external threats, in this case, radical Islam, but you also talk about the internal enemy that we face. Real quickly, who is that internal enemy?
Militant secularism. Militant secularism. Look at the ACLU, for example. They would literally sue kids in high school who want to meet and have a small room for Bible study before or after school. They would never say a word when Muslim students insist on leaving classes at noon to go and have their prayer. Not a word. I mean, there is just bias. The feminist meetings and gatherings, who do they invite as guest speaker? Linda Sarsour, the hijab wearing, well, not only that, but she's a Sharia promoter Muslim. There's some Muslims, our friends are Muslims, they would absolutely have nothing to do with that. But they are reaching to the militant Muslims and working out an unholy alliance with them, and that's tragic, and that's really dangerous. Unless God's people start praying against that, it's going to be a problem.
In the last few seconds that we have, talk about that, because you have radical Islam on one hand, Muslims, and you have these secularists, and they are strange bedfellows today. What can Christians do to defeat this external and internal threat?
Well, first of all, to be aware of the situation. Most Christians have no idea. But also the believers need to realize, in the evangelical world, which I belong to, we are losing faith in the truth of the gospel. We know, so many evangelical people are saying, well, you know, all the ways lead to God. Isn't that all religions are good and all that stuff? And 60% of the millennial evangelicals say Jesus is not the only way. So we have work to do in our churches, and teaching the truth, believing the truth, living the truth, because many people might even assent to the truth and never live it. And then finally, stand up for the truth and never compromise.
Yeah, excellent word. Okay, the book is called The Hidden Enemy, Aggressive Secularism, Radical Islam, and the Fight for Our Future. You can find this book wherever books are sold. Sir, thank you. As always, a pleasure to have you back on CBN. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.